So here's part four of the story. I'm gonna go back a couple of notches again because it's so much stuff, y'all, that I be forgetting um, some of the things. So I'm gonna go back to the part when he grabbed her. When he grabbed her, he dragged her into the car. He dragged her in the car and he scuffed her up. Like he bust her toe. She had cuts and bruises on her legs. And then when he brought her to the apartment, he had told her to go into the bathroom and wash the blood off her or whatever. When it was done, well, when he was done, he told her to. He asked her if she remembered if she knew his name, and she was like no. And he asked her, did she know where she was, and she was like no. So a lot of people wanted to know how she got back home. Well, he dropped her off on the corner where he took her from, and he told her to be a good girl and don't step in no bottle glass on the way home because she didn't have any shoes on. Okay, so the police catch him outside. So yeah, the police catch him outside. They ask him what he doing there. He says that he is there to visit his wife who's dying of cancer. That wasn't the truth. He had showed up there because he was trying to find my little sister so he can unalive her before the police catch him, thinking that was going to help him get away. So the police take him to the station. They ask him, where you was the night before, what happened. At first, he tried to tell them the story that he told his sister-in-law, but they told him that they had already talked to his sister-in-law, and they all knew that was a lie. So he made up a story and said that he was at the payphone, and my mama and my sister was there too. And when he was getting ready to use the payphone, my mama and my little sister just jumped on him. They started fighting him. My mama was striking him, and as my mama fighting him, my little sister is striking him in the side. And then my mama ended up pulling out a gun. And so while him and my mama was tussling for the gun went off twice. And he seen my mama fall on the ground, and then he noticed that the gun was in his hands. He said that all the while my little sister was still hitting him, right? And while she's hitting him, and the two shots that went off, he did like something like in this motion, and it knocked my little sister into his car. And that's how she ended up in his car, because he pushed her and she fell in the car, and he drove off with her. But so the police was, they had just had it. You know what I'm saying? The police told him, we know everything. We got it. We got everything. So he went to jail that night. But the switch up is, once my little sister came forward and said that what happened to her, two more other little girls came forward. 3 months before he abducted my little sister, he had abducted another little girl. He raped her, and he let her go. Same thing that he did to my little sister, he did to that little girl. She told the police what happened, but then when it was time for them to go to trial, or, time for the prosecutors to try to find him, to prosecute him, they couldn't find him anymore. They couldn't find her. She had went into hiding, so they never had a chance to catch him. The second little girl was his niece. She said that her mama had left her there with him one day. And he took her in the room, and he told her to get undressed. And he told her that to lay, on her stomach on the bed. And so she did. And so she said at first he had started putting his fingers down there. She felt him put his fingers down there. She said then after that she felt something he was trying to push something else inside of her, but it was too big, it wouldn't fit. So he stopped. And then she said, she got up to turn around so she could get up, and he told her, don't turn around right now. She said, but she heard him zip up his pants. She said and then he told her that she could turn around. When she turned around, she said he told her, you my star, right? Uncle only did this to you so that when another little boy try to do this with you, you'll know what to do and how it feels. amazing. Well, so with the two little girls and my little sister, you know, and now they know who he is, they have enough, you know, to charge him. They did a great kit test on the first little girl when she came forward the first time, and they matched it to him. They did one on my little sister, and they matched it to him. And then you know, the third little girl, they couldn't do. I mean, the second little girl, they really couldn't do anything because it didn't go. So now, my little sister is just distraught. Like, we are all distraught. So at the time, my mama is still fighting for her life. So, you know, once they got him locked up and they knew that he was going to be there, it was in no way that he was going to be a threat to her. They told us that we could take her back to the hospital to see my mama. Now, like I said before, it was one doctor saying, oh, your mama might make it, and it was another doctor saying that it wasn't a chance. So, you know, we really didn't know what to do. So we went back to the hospital. We bought her. Mind you, she hadn't seen my mama since all of this happened. She didn't see her. They wouldn't let her. So this was her first time seeing my mama since all of this happened. So we took her back to the hospital. She got to go in the room. We all went in the room where my mama was. Of course, like I said, she still had the tubes and stuff in her mouth and everything. My little sister instantly saw my mama and she started crying and she started apologizing and she was just like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean for this to happen. You know, at that point, she just felt like it was her fault. You know, she felt like if she would have stayed home, that, you know, my mama would have been okay. You know, but we always tried to tell her, like, you know, you don't know what was going to happen. You don't know, you know, what, it could have happened to anybody. So once she seen my mama, she hugged my mama, she kissed my mama, and she told my mama, she whispered in my mama's ear, she said, Mama, I'm okay. And when she said, Mama, I'm okay, it was like one tear came out of my mama's eyes. And, you know, she was just hugging her, and, you know, it was devastating. It was devastating. So we went back to my auntie house, you know, because everybody was exhausted and everything, to try to get some sleep and stuff. But the next day, we got a phone call from my grandmother at my auntie house, and my auntie came and told us that my mom had passed. So she stayed alive long enough to make sure that her baby was okay. And when she heard her voice, she went home. Whew. Come back for part 5. I'll tell y'all about the trial and what happened now.